First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Surprise on you. It's Dave White sitting in for the one and only Larry Pesavento. He'll be back on Monday, I hear. So what do we have today? Well, I wish I would have thought of it yesterday. I did not. But this weekend is 9/11. And for the last 20 years, I probably should have thought about it. The market tends to be incredibly supported by the Treasury, by the Fed, by other folks. And not exactly sure that it's still necessary, but they're always worried that someone's going to try to make an attack on the same day as a bigger statement. So they tend to make sure that the market is fairly stable price-wise. I don't think it's stable when we go into next week, but stable going into the market. We were looking in the newsletter this morning at somewhere around 405 on the SPYs. We're trading at 405.86, a little high on that. I think maybe they picked up a few short sellers yesterday that didn't cover before the end of the day. But if you can't take out the lows, you'll go try to take out the highs. And probably the more interesting note on this is it's 1 o'clock. Normally we should be somewhere around 6 billion shares, about 5.16 billion shares as we speak. Volume has been very light most of the day. Now, of course, a week from today, we'll have options expiration. It's one that's a little harder to call than the rest because it's quad witching. And I don't tend to be as active in quad witching. There's a lot of back and forth cross currents that come into it. It really doesn't start mattering until next Wednesday, but we'll see. But we're getting this push up. It's got very light volume. September is kind of known for having days like we had yesterday, which are very sharp air pockets and flying. They call it clear air turbulence. You're just going along and boom, it came down. But yesterday pretty much failed exactly where it was, where we thought, and then recovered almost as fast as we thought also. So will we really know much of anything or how much money came in from the Fed or the Treasury? Probably not. They'll probably take it back out a little bit next week. So is there a little negative downside to next week? Maybe Monday, Tuesday, to whatever extent they had to take the cash out. I'm thinking that there was probably also a little bit of shenanigans going on with the big names of Wall Street pushing the market down on a kind of a mini flash crash with just a real fast move, wiped out all the folks that had sell orders on the downside. Everybody got short, got turned around pretty quickly if they didn't cover. So what do we have? Well, like I said, kind of interesting to see that we're on the high side of what the options prediction was for today at 405. It's 1 point higher on the SPYs. Not the end of the world, but again, probably still catching a few people on the short side. I had many people that I will call perma-bears. That is, every day they try to email me about how they yet shorted the market and made $1 billion. And I will give you the warning that I've given many times, and that is generally you want to be short is about 25% of the time. The problem with people that, especially perma bears, are that even if the market doesn't go up a whole lot, it's probably going to go up a little bit, about 75% of the time. Now, when it comes down, it's probably going to come down 3 times as fast as it went up. As they like to say in academic circles, the stock market goes up sinusoidally, i.e. a lot of dips and troughs, and moves higher. And then, of course, what do? They go down linearly and quickly. Yeah. That's it. Anyway, I get those. It really kind of amazes me, because I tell these people that literally call or email me multiple times a day how easy it is to put a filter on email. But just for grins, every once in a while, I'll look in the trash bin and just see how many people, these people, once again, that are always negative, have emailed me that the end of the world is nigh, and it's not. But again, how many people, in fact, I'm trying to remember the last guy that did it, but there was another guy that said that God was coming and that was it. And I want to think it was in 2012. So in 2012, it didn't happen. So he gave us till 2016, and then he gave us to 2020. I haven't heard about the guy lately. But, it's kind of like the doctor, the old Rodney Dangerfield doctor, who said, you gave me six months to live and I'm still fine. He goes, I gave you another 6 months. I mean, it's kind of like that. Anyway, I don't get too... Okay. Spam. Just making sure here. Anyway, there's nothing wrong with being, or nothing, there's no sin of being wrong. It's just continuing wrong. And, John Maynard Keynes was one of the bigger men of Wall Street and finance, I think from the 30s, maybe into the 50s or 60s. Don't remember exactly when he did. But he would be long or short something and then change his mind. And this one guy came up to him one time and he said, you changed your mind. He said, yeah, when the facts change, I change my mind. What do you do, sir? And I always thought that was fairly important to know that you're going to be a lot of times you're going to be wrong in the markets. And the only sin is to stay wrong. So for those folks for the last 500 points higher that email me on a daily basis, I do have a very easy way of putting you on the spam list. But I do go back from time to time and see how many days that you told me that the end was nigh. Anyway, having a good day today. I'll be on for the next, an hour and 5 minutes. So a great day to call in if you have any technical questions or bigger questions on stocks. Be a great day to talk to you. Be back in a minute.
In a time of booming inflation, where your purchasing power is eroded, there's no better place to protect your hard-earned money than in gold. Vista Gold's flagship asset is the Mount Todd Gold Project in the Northern Territory of Australia. This is Australia's largest undeveloped gold project. We are talking a world-class gold project in a Tier 1 mining district. This is a large-scale, low-cost project with significant existing infrastructure in a politically safe and friendly mining jurisdiction. Vista Gold just completed the Mount Todd feasibility study, which resulted in a 7 million ounce gold reserve in a 16-year mine life. All of this, combined with the approvals of all major operational as well as environmental permits. This distinguishes Mount Todd as an attractive, de-risk partner, ready development stage gold project. Vista Gold trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol VGZ.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And as we get back, since we got an extra hour today, I'm going to go through a lot of charts to see what we've got next week. Very, very, very light volume in the last 15 minutes as we kind of creep up higher, probably squeezing out those dyed-in-the-wool perma bears. I've been on that side before. It's no fun. That's why you take your stops early, and if you don't, you eventually take the stop of all time. The mother of all stops. Anyway. Whoa, what I wanted to look at out here. First questions of the day are about the TLT. As I said, I wasn't looking for a whole lot. You did retest the previous low. Energy's about the same on the way up, on the way down. Volume's about the same on the way up and the way down. So there isn't a great deal there to be had. To see, let me do this and get to the dollar chart. Had a real move. This is what makes me suspect that we have a little bit of Fed or Treasury action coming into 9/11. Let's get the dollar down and the market up a little bit. At 108.935 at the moment on this. And again, I never really thought much about seeing $1 moves or $2 moves as a thing in the dollar over the number of years. Generally, it just starts trending, and that is it. But certainly, at least at the moment, there's a lot of money changing hands on some fairly large moves. 1% doesn't sound a lot to us, but of course, to a somebody on lots of margin on dollars, it is a huge deal. Anyway, back to the TLT. One of the reasons why I think a lot of the dollar move will probably evaporate Monday or Tuesday, short of any cataclysmic operation over the weekend. You're just kind of going sideways out here today. Again, if you want to have a nice low, you come down on more volume. You really need a small bounce and then a pullback on lighter volume. I'm not a big fan of just suspecting everything is a V bottom. And I don't think we're going to get it in the TLT. My guess is we do get a bounce, maybe up to 111, and then fail, and then probably come out and take out the 108 for a while. Okay, we'll get to some other. Oh, you can always email me at path@tfnn.com or put a message in the den if you want. Okay. A double dose of Dave. Yes. A double shot. Okay. Anyway, that was the first one I wanted to take a look at. Also, a look at Apple. Again, like I said, volume is very light, especially in the last hour. But I expect probably not a lot of people are going to get into the way before the close today. Options pointing somewhere around 405, a little higher than that, although we pushed a couple of times higher. It may just be that too many people are shorting, and they're going to have to get squeezed out before the market does anything. Right now, yesterday you had 85 million shares. Today you got 38 on the upside for Apple. So it may be up, but I'm not going to say that it's anything you should write home about. Some of the other big movers and shakers, as I call them, the usual suspects, up yesterday on 89 million shares. Today so far up on 45, 46 million shares is AMD. So I'm not going to say a lot there. To me, again, I want to pull back on light volume and get to retesting that September 7th low at 77.47. See if we have a decent low. AMZ in, which is Amazon. Another one. Last couple of days, 40s. Let's call it 48 million shares, 44 million shares. Today, so far, 29. Could you get there? That one does tend to have a lot of volume at the end. Let's see. Disney did have a bounce. Probably just an oversold one as far as I can tell. Volume yesterday was 8.4 million shares. Today, 5.2 so far. So could you get back up to 119 on Disney? That's the big gap down from the 22nd of August. That had 11.5 million shares. That would be, yes, a nice light volume pop in a downtrend if that continues. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to be looking at as many charts as I can during this hour. So let's go back through some of the ones that I wanted to take a look at today for previous highs and lows. Now, didn't really get a good one in that one. I was trying to look at some of the ones that were there that caught my interest. And certainly ALB, the lithium miner, testing its previous August 25th and 26th high. You had about 1.4 million shares. You get about 900,000. Not bad. Doesn't really look like it's putting on a lot of errors of higher prices. One of the other ones that I thought was very interesting was one that has been left out for dead. Ooh, excuse me. How did I do that? I clicked on the wrong thing. There's the Blue Apron. Okay. Was Blue Apron. It's finishing filling its gap down. That gap down came on the 10th of February with, let's call it 4.9 million shares. Got into it yesterday with 23 million shares. Today, kind of a inside spinning top day. So far, about 8 million shares. But again, a lot of people stay way too long to the party for being short. And my guess is that we've got kind of a new meme stock. But that's it. Other stocks out here. A10, which is the symbol ATEN. It tested its previous low, did so on about the same amount of volume, got a small bounce. There isn't a lot in that. Bandwidth, man, this one's making a, one that might be interesting. I dislike the high volume, but I do like the long consolidation out here between, let's call it $14 and 21, but it would still need to come back and make a much lighter volume low. But that one may set up for the end of this month. Let's see what else we have out here. Breaking out, but not with a lot of juice, is BJ's Wholesale Club. Let's go back to a little bit lower one. And that's problematic. August 18th, 77.48, 9 million shares. Yesterday broke it with 2.6 million shares. You have 856,000. This one looks rather ripe to pull back into the trading range, probably Monday, Tuesday. When we come back, we'll look at a lot more charts.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Question about ADN. ADN is a materials and technology development company in the fuel cell and hydrogen technology markets. Question about now that fuel cell, F-cell, seems to be doing well. What about this one? Here's what I dislike about this particular setup. I don't know enough about the company to get too wound up, but one of the things I dislike is stocks that discontinue to have lower highs and higher lows into a big triangle pattern, because it seems no matter what side I take on them, I don't think he'd be short a $3 stock, but whatever side you take on them, they tend to go the other way before and stop you out before they go the way you think they're going to go. So I tend to wait. I would want to buy ADN if you like it, on some big thrust down that lasts maybe a day or two and then just evaporates, and then buy it on the way back up. Too many times it'll bounce up a little bit and then it'll gap down the next day, or I decide to buy it and it doesn't gap up at all. So I'm just a fan of these triangle patterns being a little bit more patient on them and waiting on it. But I think all this sector's got a lot of good news and could be doing well. But I just think it's, I've never had luck with this pattern, let me put it that way. And so I tend to keep this on the radar and really watch them for counter trend moves. Because generally the big counter trend, when you get these patterns, 80% of the time, it's going to break out. And if you think you're bullish on it, it's going to break down, wash out all the weak hands, and then go back higher. So that's it. No. Okay. And let's go ahead and look at fuel cell itself, FCEL. Okay. We got a nice bounce today out of it. Not a lot of volume's okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a nice move for it today. You're getting into resistance at about 440 on fuel cell. We'll see about that. Other things going on here. We've got Hector asking about PCTY. I don't know what he means by long-term charts. Long-term to me is like 2 months. So we'll look at it here a little bit. Okay. You retested a previous low. You did so on about the same volume back on June 16th. So you could always come back and retest it. I would have liked to seen a much lighter volume down there on the June 16th low. Doesn't mean it's not going to do what you want it to do, but that's it. Now you had a nice gap with a sign of strength on the 5th with 813,000 shares on Paylocity. This is PCTY. It came back and on 275,000 shares touched and filled that gap, which is very nice. So you've got that. Now you're up on 136,000 shares today, going back down into a gap down that had 500,000 shares. So I'm going to say a trading range where this thing needs to base out somewhere around 240, 240, can we call it 245, 240, 245. And maybe it consolidates out and then gets ready to move with the rest of the market. Another one is GTLS. Chart Industries. Yeah. Kind of the same thing, where you did gap higher, did so on 400,000 shares, came back and retested on 261,000 shares on September 6th. So that's good. What I like is the very light energy on this one from the August 11th high back down to the September 6th low. There wasn't a lot of energy compared to the move higher and the gap. I would have probably waited and missed it by trying to buy it at 174, 173. It just never got there. But I would have liked to seen it fill half the gap. But you had light volume, you had everything. So I'd say 75, 80% chance you get a retest of the August 11th high at 214. Not a lot of juice on the way up here, though. That's also problematic. So we've got those. Yes, this is not Billy Ray. This is Dave White sitting in for the one and only Larry Pesavento. Okay, so chart industry. Oh, we looked at that one. Let's go back to my list of stuff. Again, give me a call, 877-927-6647. Email me at path@tfnn.com. that question about BE. Take a quick look at that. Bloom Energy. Yeah, I think you're just consolidating out to the right-hand side of the chart here. You've got kind of nice makings of an ABC higher, which would be a nice big ABC. You did break the previous high with a little bit more volume. And you've got a high out here that's untested with some decent volume on November 8th. That was at 37.01. So what would this look like on a expansion? And let's see, we'll go back to the bigger one here. No? What would that be? 31 something, wouldn't it? Right? You didn't have that big of a pullback, I guess, is the biggest problem with this one. Let's make that our A, make this our B, make this our C. What do we have here? 41.54. That's halfway for an ABC's halfway in there. I'd say you probably go up to 37 and have to consolidate if this is an ABC on the way back up. You did enough of a retrace out here at almost probably 50% retrace of the C, so not bad. But again, it's just the last few days out here have been very short and light. I think you could probably retest 2310 again before this thing really gets started for an ABC higher. Okay, what else do we have? BKR. This Baker Hughes. Again, a lot of these things are just slightly better than a flip of a coin. August 5th low in Baker Hughes. August 5th, $23.74, 13.5 million shares. You didn't quite blow that out, but you did have about 12 million shares. So, yeah, was it 10% lighter? Yeah, but at the same time, the energy on the way down was about 10% higher. So a lot of these are just a wash. Now today, very light pop, 4.5 million shares so far. Be back in a minute.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
As we come back, we talked most about these. Let's go ahead and move on to some of the other ones. Caterpillar. Take a quick look at this one. Yeah, you really had too much of a pullback. This one's got a nice pop today. Yesterday you had 2.24 million shares. Today you got 1.1 million shares. That's why I'm saying I kind of smell a little bit of a rat with these light volume pops. And again, it may just be a couple of day wonder here with money coming in from the Treasury or the Fed or your uncle's brother going into 9/11. There's a little bullish trend over the last 20 years of them holding it up until we get them come back on the fear that maybe something else happens. It hadn't, but there's always, I guess probably I wouldn't want to be on an airline this weekend. Don't like being on one most of the time, but they always heighten the threat alert to plaid on these days. But certainly light volume. CHPT on this one. Yeah, I mean, just look at most of these out here. Yesterday, 12.6 million shares. Today, half that right now. With about 2 hours left to go. Let's see if there's anything else out here. C&K. Now, this one's kind of interesting. I do like this. I wish it was just a little lower because there's a gap below it. But not a bad retest down here of the previous low. This is Cinemark, C&K. January 28th, 4.5 million shares at 1337. Got down to 1309, popped right back into it, and the most volume he had down there was almost half, 2.5 million shares. You're back into the trading range. Again, I think a lot of these are going to pull back down one more time, and if you want to get bullish on the market more than a day or so, I think you want these to pull back and even have lighter volume and then move back higher. But I'm not particularly bullish at these levels, mostly because so many of these stocks have light volume. Let's see what else do we have out here. Okay, go through a few of these things in my scan. Customer Bank Corp, QB, CUBI. This one a little bit better than mostly because of the incredibly light volume test of June 14th. That was $32.19. Got into that with 451,000 shares 2 days ago. Yesterday, you had 326,000 shares. Today, 83,000 shares. So again, you're testing a lot of these testing lighter volumes, but they're not getting a lot of love just quite yet, and on extremely lighter volume. So you do have a light volume test. What you want to see is these come back in and test that once again on lighter volume. But I don't think you're setting up a lot of V bottoms out here. I think they're going to be more U. Yeah, Cat settled with the IRS. If you ever can. Settled for the moment. DNMR. So this is interesting. August 9th low, $3.96. Let's go ahead and do this. And, of course, yesterday you got into that low with 1.3 million shares. So you had a light volume test. Again, volume kind of light here. You generally should see a move over the downtrend come with some volume inside of it. A performance polymer company develops, produces, provides bioplastic replacements for traditional petroleum-based plastics. So fake meat, fake plastic. Man, on the fake scale, how fake is fake plastic? That's got to be pretty big. Well, if you're into what was the name of that movie? The Graduate. I wonder what it would have been. If it was today, it would be fake plastics. Not a bad looking chart. I got to tell you that. I do want to see a pullback in it, but this is one of the better looking ones I've seen. You got a very light volume test of the retest. You've got a nice light volume pullback that started back on August 19th and got all the way back down to the lows. DSKE. This has got a 500,000 share, it's called 540,000 share low on June 13th. You did get into it yesterday with 237,000 shares. Today you're up on 164. It's not a high volume stock, but the pattern is fairly good. Energy is about the same on the way up and the way down, but I have a feeling if you're looking for a bottom, may not be going up, but I think you got a pretty good bottom on that one. Consolidated Edison up here double tapping the highs. August 19th, 101.57. That was 1.9 million shares. You had a huge day, a monster candle, and still didn't get that kind of volume. Now you're just going sideways out here today. So that you want to watch that one. That may be topping out. And when utilities tend to top out, generally we can find some market bottoms. To see what else do we have. 8x8. Oh man, this has been on a one-way trip. Take a look at that. This thing has done nothing but go lower almost every single day since January 19th, 2021. Wow. Anyway, kind of a competitor to Zoom and Skype. Eagle Bulk Shipping. Of course, a lot of people worried about this one. Actually did get a lower low on a lighter volume. I wish the energy would have pulled back a little bit off the August 12th high, but certainly you have probably a little bit going on here with Eagle Bulk Shipping. That's the July 6th low at $41.25. 600,000 shares. You broke that, pierced it, closed back into it with half the volume, and that's always a good thing. May not be the tickets to huge profits, but the risk reward is fairly good. Okay. Let's go down through a few more. GBX. The Greenbrier companies finally came back and filled this gap that came in back on November 2nd, 2020. And gap back up, started moving. Now you're all the way back down and filling it. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what these guys do. Railroad freight car equipment. That's right. Why couldn't I think of that? Why in the world would railroads cost of energy? And maybe they bought enough railroad cars? Kind of hard to think. Got a fleet of 8,800 rail cars. Hell, they lease them. They paid management services to a fleet of 444,000 rail cars and railroads. We'll be back in a minute.
Vista Gold owns and operates the largest undeveloped gold project in Australia, the Mount Todd Gold Project. Vista Gold just completed their feasibility study, resulting in a 7 million ounce gold reserve. Vista Gold has all major permits approved and has retained CIBC capital market assistance in evaluating alternatives and in completing an accretive transaction. Vista Gold trades on the NYSE American and TSX under the ticker symbol VGZ. Vista Gold, executing a strategy to create shareholder value.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Guess is our next stock as we take a look at stocks that are testing previous highs and lows with lighter volume to some extent. But certainly the March 8th low in Guess, which makes lifestyle collections of apparel and accessories for men and women and children. March 8th low, 1589, 3.2 million shares. You got into that with 1.45 million shares. You had a nice bounce, no real sign of strength. That's a big candle with volume. You've got a big candle, but again, just kind of looks like short covering on a great deal of these stocks. Global Medical REIT. This is interesting. Got a test of the June 14th low, $10.50. That had 622,000 shares with 300,000 shares. Again, no real follow-through. Light volume today is 92,000 shares. And that's kind of the story of the day here. We may beat it into the ground before the next hour, but that's kind of it so far. Let's see, we've got some emails, questions here. Let's go ahead and check. Okay. Do we have enough time? Wolf, we'll get to. We'll try to get to the other one after this, Will. Let's see. Wolf. Okay. You retested the previous high. You did so on DIS, so slightly higher. Energy's the same way, same on the way up, on the way down. And the volume's just a little higher. Should retest 123.25. But man, is this volume light over the last 3 days. So I'd probably suspect that I'd want to take my cash if I was long this and try to get it back at about 97.50. Anyway, thanks to Larry. We'll be back for yet another hour, so give us about 10 minutes and we'll be back. Remember, always sell when you can, not when you have to.